Which are the best Christian homeschool curriculum programs today? What about the worst? In this video, we'll review all of the most popular Christian programs to determine which ones are great choices and which ones are not worth wasting your time and money on. And I think my choice for worst is going to shock you, so stick around to hear that one. Hey there, my name is Rebecca Devitt. I'm a Christian homeschool mom and I was homeschooled myself 30 years ago. I'm a curriculum expert. I've spent literally thousands of hours researching homeschool curriculum, and I'm going to talk about some of my favorite choices that I've discovered in the video today. First up, we have Abeka. Abeka has been around for over 4 decades. They offer pre-recorded video lessons, either online or on DVD, or you can get the teacher's manuals, a sort of teach it yourself option. Whatever you get, they come with physical workbooks, so your children won't be staring at a computer screen the whole time. And they offer all subjects that you would expect with a Christian homeschool curriculum. With Abeka Academy, you can get a full week of free video lessons, 25 hours, before you decide whether you want to use the program for either a quarter or a year. And when you purchase, you can purchase either a semester's worth of material or the whole year, which is a little bit cheaper. They also offer a generous payment plan over 10 months. To give you an idea about pricing, grade 1 costs $1,350, with the accredited option costing an extra $50 on top of that. Grade 12 costs a little bit more at $1,600. Again, with accreditation costing a little bit more. Abeka is quite a rigorous program. Some people report it as being a full grade level above what is taught in public school at that grade. Other people say with Abeka that sometimes the long video lessons can be a little bit boring, although a lot of people are really happy with it. But let's say you did want something that was really engaging, more stories and less textbook stuff. Then you have Masterbooks. Masterbooks is such a great gospel-centered homeschool curriculum option if you're looking for offline workbooks. Now, these books are very open and go. In the olden days, parents would have to do a lot of reading to the kids and figuring out what they need to teach to the children themselves. But these days, the curriculum is actually written to the students. So as soon as the student's old enough, they can just open the books and read it for themselves. This means that once they get past about grade 3, they can do the curriculum entirely themselves. I also like with this one that there's a lot of character training. The aim is to teach children practical life skills with godly living and as the gospel for the real reason for which they're doing so. When buying Masterbooks, you can choose their 4-subject grade, which will set you back around $250 to $350 depending on what you get. For grade 12, it will cost around $650, but you can also buy electives as well. Masterbooks is very customizable. You can choose whatever interests your child and then heighten their enjoyment of education. But generally, when you buy a subject, you get the main textbook, you get the teacher's manual or teacher's guidebook, and you get the workbook for students to complete. Masterbooks is considered on the easier side of homeschooling, but it is certainly challenging enough to give your children a great homeschool education. If we're discussing Christian homeschool curriculum though, we need to talk about the good and the beautiful. This curriculum is open and go and it's family style learning. You can use this one for all of your grades, and when the children learn a topic, it combines all of the subjects into it, a little bit different from what you'll see in a traditional education. The good and the beautiful offer a lot of its curriculum for free, but you can also get the workbooks delivered to your door in a box, which is a lot of the time what people choose. When you look at the program, it is very pleasing to the eye and pretty. In this curriculum, there is a lot of teaching about God, nature, character, and good literature. But it's definitely not one I'm going to be using in my homeschool. and I'll tell you why later. Now let me tell you about a homeschool curriculum I do use in my homeschool and I love. And that's because I don't have to sit down with the kids and teach them myself. I actually have a pain condition, which means I can't sit down next to my children for long periods of time, and so it's really useful to have this curriculum. This program is BJU Press, and it's like using a high quality private Christian school curriculum in your home, which is exactly what it is. BJU Press is very similar to a Becker, only the video lessons are much shorter, it's a lot more affordable, and accreditation is no extra cost. This program offers you a choice between online pre-recorded video lessons, DVDs, or your teacher's manuals, your more offline option. I'd go with, though, the pre-recorded video lessons. I really like this one. The curriculum also comes with physical workbooks, so your kids aren't staring at a computer screen the whole time, which I really like. With this program, you can track your students with the BJU Press Homeschool Hub. The Homeschool Hub is an all-in-one learning management tool, assignment scheduler, and planner. In the Hub, you're able to keep an eye on their progress, their upcoming assignments, and monitor their progress in the gradebook. BJU Press is certainly not the cheapest of the Christian homeschool curriculum programs, but it is probably one of the most affordable ones with pre-recorded video lessons that lets you outsource a lot of the teaching to their online teachers. In terms of cost, their pre-recorded video lessons with workbooks cost $1,049 for grade 1. It's a lot cheaper in kindergarten and preschool, by the way. Also for grade 12, it costs exactly the same, but you can choose to buy electives on top of your basic curriculum. They also offer a generous payment plan, so you can pay 15% up front and then you can pay 85% off over the next 9 months. With this curriculum, I like that children can almost entirely homeschool themselves as they grow older. And as a Christian, I really love their focus on teaching a biblical worldview. The other day, the math teacher was sitting down and explaining her testimony to my son in the math video. I think that's just wonderful and not something you see often. But what if you want to go for something that is entirely offline? Generations Homeschool Curriculum is all about mission, family discipleship, and incorporating the Bible into every subject. This one is an entirely offline, boxed homeschool curriculum with colourful textbooks and workbooks. They offer grade curriculum with all subjects for some of the grades. The price of Generations varies, with grade 1 costing around $400. This is complete with all subjects. But then you've got year 12, which costs only $277 because, as it seems, they're lacking a lot of the core subjects. But I love with this one in particular that they do offer free international shipping if your order is over $200. So this is great if you're not living in America. This is such an affordable, gospel-centered Christian homeschool program. And the reviews on this program are, I've honestly hardly seen better, more positive homeschool reviews. The only downside with this one, though, is that if you're looking for video lessons, well, they don't do them. But this is really a good choice, and I'll link it down below so you can check it out. But what if you want a program that is entirely online? Something kids can do themselves completely, maybe while you work on the side. Let's take a look at Monarch. Some people like this program because it is affordable for a Christian homeschool curriculum and everything is entirely online. No workbooks, pencils, or paper needed. This program has all of your basic subjects, including Bible. It's made by Alpha Omega Publications. These guys also make Ignite Christian Academy, which is essentially a private online school that's accredited. It has live video lessons. It's got tutors if your kids need it. They also make LifePack, which is a very offline, independent-led student workbook version. They've got Horizons, which is very, very teacher, parent-led, heavy. They offer Weaver, which is unit studies, but Monarch is probably getting to be one of their most popular programs because it's cheap and it's Christian and it's all online. With this one, you can get a 30-day free trial. And then if you like it, you can buy it for around $40 a month, or you can pay yearly $400, which is obviously a little bit cheaper. What if you want electives? Well, for them, you're going to have to pay either $10 a month or $100 for the year for access. They've also got quite an extensive electives list, like Spanish and technology and business, and a lot more. I love with this one that you can set up the pace of your children's lesson yourself. So it's not going to be too fast or too slow for them. You just need to go into the curriculum portal and you can set all of this up yourself, and also keep an eye on what your children are doing, which is a big plus of this program. But keep in mind that Monarch is only made for grade 3 onwards. So if you have younger children and you were planning on using this curriculum, well, you can't do that. You'll have to use another homeschool program. I have to admit, with Monarch, it is sometimes accused of being a little bit dry and boring. It's certainly not everybody's cup of tea. But what if you want something more personable? What about something like live online lessons? Veritas Press is a complete classical Christian homeschool program. This program offers all of your normal subjects that you're going to be teaching, but it teaches it in a bit of a different way with the classical method. If you don't know what that is, I will link a video down below in the description about the classical method so you can check it out. But even if you didn't know anything about it, you could put your kids in this program with no issues. Now, Veritas offers their curriculum program in 3 ways. Firstly, you can go with their self-paced video lessons, or you can go with their teach it yourself option where parents get a bit more involved, or you can go with what is probably definitely the most popular option for Veritas, their live online lessons. Here, children can interact with teachers online, and they can also interact with other students as well. So it's essentially a lot more social. Now, you can buy individual subjects or you can buy a full year. It's hard for me to tell you what these cost exactly because it is quite a complicated program to price, but it is definitely up there on the expensive side of things. Now, I was talking to some of the people at Veritas Press, and they said definitely do a free consultation, because they said so many people buy the wrong option, choose completely the wrong thing when they should have chosen something else. And so that's why you need to do a consultation. I'll link one down below to figure out what you need for your family and get the right thing. And the other reason to do a consultation is that the state government is heavily subsidizing a lot of Veritas Press material to the tune of hundreds of dollars in certain states. And so if you do a consultation, you can figure out if you are one of the states doing that. And there are more and more states jumping on this bandwagon. I think last time I looked, there was about 10 states. There tend to be the more conservative states as well. So have a chat to them and see if you fall in that and you can get that subsidy. But like I said, Veritas can be one of the more pricey options. Let's say you need something that's really affordable, something that you don't need to multiply for every subsequent children you have. Let's say you have 10 kids. Well, then you have to look at the Christian homeschool curriculum, Schoolhouse Teachers. Schoolhouse Teachers gives you everything you might need to homeschool with a Christian curriculum from pre-K through to grade 12. One membership covers you for all subjects and the electives. And let me tell you, they have a massive range of electives. There is also parent education and resources, classical and Charlotte Mason learning centers, and help with transitioning from high school to college. While Schoolhouse Teachers has over 25,000 video lessons, what you'll probably end up doing is printing a lot of their lessons and doing them offline. And with Schoolhouse Teachers, they offer lots of payment options. You can pay for pre-K to grade 12, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. This costs around $30, $60, or $270 respectively. You can also pay for pre-K to grade 8, which is slightly cheaper, around $23, $45, or $210, which is monthly, quarterly, or yearly respectively. As you can see, there are discounts if you pay quarterly or yearly. But this is such an affordable program if you have a large homeschool family. You don't need to multiply your homeschool curriculum fees. How good is that? I'll link it down below so you can check it out. But let's say you want something really slick that pushes your children to think critically. Let's say you want something that really encourages them to stand up for their Christian faith confident, then Apologia, an all-in-one Christian homeschool curriculum, is a good choice for you. Apologia is probably best known for its creation science homeschool curriculum offerings, which are very popular. That's where they kind of grew in a lot of people's estimation. And now they pretty much offer all subjects for all years. They even have video lessons for a lot of these courses. Some are self-paced and some are live. In terms of pricing, Apologia lists its courses more broadly, more in terms of elementary, middle school, and high school. What this means is that, especially if you have children who are closer in age, you can teach them at the same time and buy the textbooks in a one-off basis, and then you can buy reusable, consumable workbooks for each child. But with this one, it is tricky to set a price, but I can give you a ballpark figure of a few $100s if you're going to get the offline workbook mode, which is pretty affordable. Or if you go with the video lessons, it definitely adds a few $100s in terms of self-paced curricula, but the live lessons do tend to be definitely more pricey. To get an exact price on the curriculum, I recommend going to their website, adding the products that you're interested in into your shopping cart and seeing what the price is there. But what if you need something that's even more low cost, perhaps even free? Then we should talk about Easy Peasy All-in-One. I quite like Easy Peasy because, unlike all the previous programs, it is completely free. And it can be done entirely online. The program has everything you will need to carry out an effective Christian homeschool from pre-K to grade 12. With Easy Peasy, the best way to start is by having your child take a placement test. Then sign up through My EP-Signments, which is a free online program where you can record your child's progress. Easy Peasy is nice because along with your basic subjects, reading, math, Bible, it's pretty customizable, and they even have a few electives you can choose from. You just need to get the schedule set up for your child, and then they can independently log on and do the work themselves. The only thing with this one is that the program won't grade it for you. You will have to do this yourself. Okay, so now what you've probably all been waiting for. I'm going to tell you about the programs where I'm a fan of them, and then some of the programs which I don't recommend using. But keep in mind that the best and worst curriculum is going to vary a little bit depending on what you're looking for your family. If you want something high quality, something that looks like it's come from a private Christian school, then choose BJU Press. It's fairly affordable, easy to use, and open and go. I also like that you can homeschool and work at the same time. And as soon as kids get up to around even grade 2 and grade 3, as soon as they can read, they can do pretty much everything themselves. You might just have to grade a few tests. That's about it. I use this one with my kids and we love it. I love their focus on good character and teaching with a biblical worldview. But if you want something really affordable that's free, like I said, I really think Easy Peasy is a great option. Unlike a lot of other free options, this one is truly free and you don't need to buy anything. And it's really quite amazing that you can actually get this one for free. Okay. Now for my choice of the worst homeschool curriculum. And that one goes to The Good and the Beautiful. But it's not because this program does a bad job of teaching the basic subjects. It's not because it's clunky and hard to use. And it's not because it's not a very attractive proposition. It's because it does not do a solid job of teaching the gospel as laid out in the Bible. The Good and the Beautiful is written by Jenny Phillips, who is of the Mormon faith. And so the curriculum teaches about God. It teaches about having a good moral character. It even has some stories from the Bible. But it's weak. I've made an extensive video to talk about this curriculum and the big problem I see in it, and I will link it in the description box below. But with homeschool curriculum, especially your first one, it can get quite confusing. There's a lot no one even tells you when you start to choose your first homeschool program. But how can you find out what those things are? I've spent the last 10 years looking at just about every homeschool curriculum program out there, and I've made a video on 7 things that almost no one is going to tell you about buying homeschool curriculum. So check it out, it's right here.